Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary.
The year is 3013. The galaxy is scintillating in the mellow light. Two galactic pilgrims seek out vistas in the samurai future to bring forth the unity of the cosmic shaman. Opening the door of the pantheon of mystics, the evil sorcerer wizard powers the engine of science, seeking to forever alter the sacred balance, travelling on effervescent balls of summer fire.
This week, Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
In the year 1988, Star Wars finally came back! Oh my god, it's gonna be so fucking good!
88?
98. Did I say 88?
You said 88.
I don't think I did.
Oh.
Might have been good if it had come out in 88.
What came out in 88? Is that Predator? No, it's 87, I think.
88. Oh, my girlfriend was born in 88.
No, there's that. Okay. It's not a movie, though.
No.
Hi, this is Matt.
This is Luke.
This is our Sci-Fi Sanctuary, where we are discussing the start of a saga.
Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Every saga must have a beginning.
That was the poster, right?
Yep. Could have had a better beginning.
Could have skipped this one, really, if you think about it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
nothing-
add much to the story.
No.
Even if you ignore quality, you could start at 2.
Yeah, I guess I was 19 when it came, 98. So I was 19. Was it 98?
I don't know.
I feel like it was 99.
I'm fairly sure it's 98.
Okay. Don't trust our years on this episode. So,
But we have very little respect for this film, so we ain't doing research.
now the re-releases, the special editions were 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I went on an explorer class trip to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that's when they put out A New Hope in special edition form, and somehow I got like 5 girls to go with me, and I thought nobody liked me at the time. So, but I looked cool, right? Dudes throwing in with 5 girls in tow to see Star Wars. But
Nice.
yeah, we thought the special editions were so cool at that point in time.
Oh, same. Well, for me, that was the first time I got to see any Star Wars in theaters, right? So
Yeah.
I'm very glad the special editions happened.
Pretty much for me too. I mean, I'd seen Return of the Jedi when I was like 4, but
Yeah.
I didn't see the first two in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen them on tape and stuff before special editions. But I think the special editions was when Star Wars was huge again. So, like, all the kids had the toys, and we were collecting the Tazos from the crisps. And
But I think this one is this is early internet, but an early internet buzz movie. So I remember that people would keep up with the news, and when the title came out, so the Phantom Menace. Well, I guess it's like Flash Gordon. Does that make it okay? It didn't sound quite right. I believe the trailer for this movie is the first video I got off the internet.
huh.
Where it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to see the trailer, so.
I remember it being... the story you always hear about is the people who used to go and see other films just to see the trailer and then leave.
Yeah, I feel like they put the trailer with the film I didn't want to see, hence me watching an internet
Yeah.
copy.
I mean, I'm sure that's a bit apocryphal, but I'm sure it happened once or twice.
Yeah, no, I know. Because I could have gone to see the film I didn't want to see and then leave after a trailer.
Yeah,
but
it's supposedly what a lot of people did.
somebody must have. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it happened.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's that apocryphal. Someone probably did it.
Yeah, but I'm sure it didn't happen en masse.
Yeah. So I saw this opening out with my buddy, and we're ready and raring, and I remember just sitting down and just slowly, of course the title comes up. Yes, Star Wars on the big screen, and yeah, it just all went downhill from there.
Even the opening crew. Like,
It's just like, this isn't interesting.
Yeah,
No,
well-
I mean, ba-da, Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Because I was 8, right?
Yeah.
I loved this film. I saw it at the cinema, I loved it. We were playing lightsaber fights for the next few months. I bought the videotape the day it came out. My friends all came around to watch it, like my house.
Yeah,
It wasn't until... I feel like it was even as late as 2, I was old enough and cognizant enough to start realizing these were bad. By the time I remember by the time I watched episode 3, I knew the other 2 were not good. But I don't really remember it before that.
I don't remember how long we came out of the theater trying to convince ourselves this one was okay, but it wasn't that long.
Right.
No, it was a good musical day though. Before the movie, I had bought the CD of Spiritualized Lady and Gentlemen, Now We Are Floating in Space, which is a fantastic album. And after a movie, we went back to my buddy's place, and his roommate introduced me to the German band Can, which is fantastic.
We've talked about Can before.
Probably, they're great, but
Well,
yeah.
maybe not on this, but me and you have.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, we saw Phantom Menace, and then I heard some Can, and yeah, so musically it was a good day. But yeah, for Star Wars, it didn't work out so well.
Yeah, I remember being in the queue, which went round the corner, and I was in my Darth Maul T-shirt, even though I hadn't even seen the film yet. But the merchandise was everywhere. I had my little Jar Jar Binks toy with the tongue that you flick out to grab things. Came free with my packet of salt and vinegar Walker's crisps.
You still have that?
God no.
Oh, too bad.
It was like spaced. I burned all my Star Wars merchandise. But yeah, Darth Maul especially, all over the marketing, and the double-ended lightsaber, so cool. And he's got the spikes on his head, that's so cool.
He does look cool.
Got a tattoo, that's so cool.
He does look cool.
He does look cool.
He doesn't really do anything.
Oh, there are quite a few, and this one especially, very cool designs. So before the film came out, when you were just getting the action figures, I was like, oh my god, this film's going to be so good. Look at these bad guys, look at these spaceships.
Yeah, I mean, we get Coruscant for basically the first time. It looks cool.
It's very cool.
Nothing's wrong with Naboo other than the Gungans, is it?
Gungans, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the battle droids look sick.
Yeah,
the
those
destroyer
are cool.
droids especially. All the spaceships were pretty cool.
Yeah. Design-wise, we're looking good here. Nice, sleek ships you don't get in the original trilogy to show the glamour of the Empire, not the Empire, the Republic in full blossom. Sorry, I'm crossing my Asimov wires again, where it's the Empire and then later something else. But yeah. So Coruscant's cool. All that's cool. Oh, we should probably bring up, since we live in Japan, we record this, that they like the prequels better here.
Or at least equally.
Yeah.
The answer I often get is they like the first 6 and not the new ones, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah. Okay, that's weird.
Well, I've had that maybe once or twice. But yeah, definitely, it's just all of Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
They don't differentiate. I've often wondered, is it just because the dub is the same quality throughout?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Because obviously, I've heard the argument made a few times, and I can't necessarily say it's wrong, that the scripts of the original trilogy were no better than the prequels. It's just that those actors were good at making it sound good.
Yeah, there's got to be some truth.
By the time of the prequels, and especially with this, was these were the first films that were just filmed in front of a green screen, right?
I don't know if it's the first,
But
it was a notable one. Yeah.
Yeah. And the actors didn't know how to do that yet.
No.
Today's the Avengers guys, they've been doing that for years, right? They're trained to do it that way. But these guys are used to having a set and a real stage.
Seem to roll into it okay.
Yeah, but that's just because Liam Neeson is a very good actor.
Yeah. But
But there's definitely a lot of just really weirdly blocked, stilted, standing in front of a stage sort of acting, which just doesn't quite feel right.
But again, Japan, when we rolled in to see Dark Fate a few weeks ago, we went to their little theater shop, and they had a bunch of Phantom Menace, vintage memorabilia stuff.
Yeah, trading cards and stuff.
So that was weird. And it looked like it was 20-year-old stuff.
Yeah. It looked legit. Well, it's even weirder if it's not, right? They've reprinted the Phantom Menace merch because it's so popular.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be mental.
Hey, that stuff might be worth something somewhere. So, Nagano Grand Cinema, get yourself some Phantom Menace stuff. You're going to tell us about the Phantom Menace then?
Yep, alright then. Talk about this boring ass plot. Due to boring tax reasons, some frogs decide to invade a planet with their robots. A couple of Jedi are sent to negotiate peace, but it all goes to shit. They go down to the planet, meet a racist kangaroo thing, swim through the apparently hollow planet, find the Queen, and decide to smuggle her to the galactic capital. They get a bit shot, so they have to land on desert planet Tatooine. Down on the planet, they meet a virgin-born magic messiah boy gamble on his motorsports career, steal him from his mum, and fly off. More boring politics happen. The slow-moving Senate won't solve their problems, so everyone goes back to the first planet, teams up with the kangaroos, and defeats the frogs. Darth Maul is also there. He's a bit of a non-entity, but he kills one of the Jedi, so the other one decides to train the little kid, even though everyone can already tell he's a cunt.
So I approached you not too long ago and mentioned that this film was not as bad as I remembered.
I was about to say, that's not what I remember you saying, but then I remember the second line.
It's way worse.
Yeah.
I just watched the holiday special again. I'm not watching this again.
So the first thing I noticed on my rewatch, I didn't remember how much Liam Neeson is the star of this film.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's like just kind of there.
Well, like the whole section on Tatooine, he's just left on the ship.
Yeah.
Like, so this character we'd never heard of was only in this film. They made him, what a weird choice.
And Natalie Portman's mostly a doppelganger.
Yeah, because it's,
Fake Keira Knightley? Is that?
Yeah, it's Keira Knightley.
Okay.
Because at the time, Keira Knightley was not famous. She was just chosen because she looks like Natalie Portman.
Okay,
and she went on to have a career.
See, that's the trouble in this film now, because you're like, well, I know her. But so it does. On this watching, I was like, I know this is a Natalie, but she looks awfully familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that makes that little facet work better. You got to wonder how many of our political leaders are being doppelganged.
Or you put on a rubber William Shatner mask, paint it orange and melt it slightly to make a Donald Trump mask.
Yeah. I heard a story recently about the the Michael Myers mask.
Oh, go on.
Huh? Yeah. So I apologize, I don't specifically remember the guy's name, but he was in charge of a company where they had been specifically tasked to make TOS masks without having the internet. So they're like, there's that. So they made the Gorn. They didn't know what to call it. It was like reptile head. And of course they did Shatner, but it didn't really quite look like him and a few others. But when they were asked to cheaply make this thing for a slasher film, they were like, well, this one's the only one that we can reasonably modify for their purposes. Because they wanted the blandest looking face possible. Right. And, Gorn wasn't going to do that, so...
So the company who had made the Shatner masks...
were asked to make the Halloween
mask.
I'd
always heard the story that they just walked into a shop and bought a Captain Kirk mask.
Basically, because they asked that company, but that company went and just grabbed the Shatner mask.
That's more believable, right?
Yeah.
Than the story that just...
And they modified...
John Carpenter just walked into a comedy joke shop and bought one off the shelf.
You know something that's not in this movie? Awesome masks.
Yeah. You know what else isn't in this movie? Comedy.
Well, we got Jar Jar. He's the comic relief. Jar Jar!
I want some relief.
It's like... We're gonna come to this conflict, I think, a lot in this podcast. I mean, this specific episode of the podcast where we want to do the Jar Jar voice and then we stop ourselves.
Yeah, it's pretty racist, man.
We got the frog aliens. They're racist.
Yep.
What's up with this?
We got them Anakin's Jewish owner.
Yeah. Wadu. Wadu.
Watto.
Yeah, Watto. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And then Anakin is not racist, but it did destroy a young child's life.
Yeah. Jar Jar's life was pretty destroyed as well.
At least, hey, his face wasn't pasted to the thing.
No. Yeah.
But I mean, Jake Woods. That's Jake Woods?
Jake something. I don't think it's Woods.
Old Jake. Man, I got nothing against Jake, but yeah, he sucks in this movie, and he shouldn't have been asked to do it in the first place.
Well, why did we need to see Darth Vader as a child?
It's like, have you heard the Patton Oswalt sketch?
No.
He talks about traveling back in time and meeting George Lucas in the early 90s.
Okay.
Oh, man, I love Star Wars. So great. So, oh, really? Well, I'm making some new ones. He's like, oh, yeah, right? We're going to see, Darth Vader and all that. Oh, well, no, you're going to see him as a child, and he loses his mom, and he's sad. He's like, What about Boba Fett? We're going to see him? Yeah, he's going to be there too, but he's a kid and he loses his dad and he's sad. And it turns to this thing where it's like the punchline of the whole thing is, it gets to, you want some ice cream? Here's some rock salt. You like Angelina Jolie? Here's John Voight's ball sack. So this movie is John Voight's ball sack, basically.
Yeah. My main problem with this film isn't really anything to do with other than Jar Jar. Because it just doesn't need to exist. And
Jar Jar needs to exist?
This film doesn't need to exist. And it existing weakens the other two. Because what we should have had is more time spent on Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship, right?
Right.
Because that's the emotional crux of the trilogy.
They
They're
split
best
out
friends.
they split out pretty quickly in episode 2, don't they?
Yeah, they're barely together in episode 2. They're barely together in episode 3. We're just told that they're best friends.
Clone Wars does it. That's why we like. That's why I say my order is Clone Wars episode 3 and move on from there.
Yeah, but yeah. So all of this stuff with Qui-Gon and with Anakin as a kid. We'll get to midichlorians later. Like, why? And then you get the weird thing where, like, Padme and Anakin meet here, and he's like a 10-year-old boy, and then he ages like 10 years, but she doesn't.
Really? That's like, it's like you fix that in a later movie because you didn't know when you made it, but they knew when they made it.
Yeah.
Like, you just made this problem. I don't know.
Well, why not just have a child actor for both? But then they wanted to have her be the queen, just so that Princess Leia's mum was a queen. That
So
makes no
Anakin
sense.
could be a little
she's
older.
princess because she's a... Well, again, why did we need child Anakin? We didn't.
Why can't he be like Luke age? That would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he is in the next movie, I guess, but why isn't he here?
Yeah, why is this film?
Yeah.
It shouldn't exist.
Every time you ask why, I almost respond in a Jar Jar voice, and I stop myself again.
Why isn't this film being made?
There it comes. Okay. How long can you talk about the Phantom Menace before you break out the Jar Jar voices?
I think we did pretty well getting this far. Like,
So we do have here again with Jake. I don't want to slam the kid. He sucks, but so do the quote good actors. Ewan McGregor does a decent Obi-Wan by episode 3, but here he's just on screen.
well, here he's trying so hard to do an English accent, he forgets to do any acting.
What?
He's Scottish.
Okay, right. Yeah. What?
What?
I don't know. Okay. Let's drop it. Okay, Natalie Portman didn't need to do any accents.
No, she's just...
She just didn't know how to act with a green screen.
Well, and also in all that makeup and in this really stiff role.
Yeah.
A couple of times we see her, like, on Tatooine and stuff, where she's in a real set and dressed like a human. She kind of has some sweet moments, right?
That's true.
Whenever she's the queen and doing all of that shit, it's awful.
She doesn't get better in the next 2 films, though.
But she doesn't really get a character in these films.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor gets better. He's fine by episode 3. He's not out getting us, but he's fine.
Oh, he's the most watchable part of episode 3. Like, but that's because by that point you can tell that he knows he's in a shit film and he's having fun with it.
Yeah, I guess.
So how can I salvage my career? I know what, I'll just make my disdain for this film very clear on screen.
Yeah, did the pressure just crush everyone?
Maybe. Well, no, I've heard a lot of stories, and I think it is mostly George.
Well,
He picked actors based on like how they looked visually, without any like thinking about their chemistry together or their on-screen performance. He directed it with an eye like the effects and the spectacle first. Acting was pretty secondary.
Well, from
The
my
scripts
understanding,
are
his
awful.
directing, even in the original trilogy, the complaint was George never gives any acting direction.
Right.
And he definitely didn't here.
Right, but I guess the difference is, in those films, in the original trilogy, George was just some dude, so people were quite happy to just act anyway.
And they got to act in a place they could see with things they could see.
So they could just
Here's
role play a little bit, right?
Imagine there's a Gungan in front of you. What's a Gungan? Oh, you'll see later.
Well, the famous story is Christopher Lee agreed to do episode 2 because he wanted to work with Natalie Portman. And he tells the story that he got to set and he's like, Where's Natalie? Where's Natalie? And George Lucas directs him to a ball on a stick and says she's there.
What happened to scheduling?
So, yeah.
What we should do is just one of us need to record the podcast and, like, we'll feed your voice into an AI and I'll talk to it and I'll feed my voice into an AI and you can talk to that. Darth Maul's actor's name, is it Ray Park? Roy Park?
Yeah, Ray Parker physically, but not the voice.
Okay. Anyway, he does good physical acting here.
Yeah, well,
Darth Maul has nothing to do, but he's imposing every time he shows up.
Yeah, well, like the final time when he shows up, and there's like the big, like team of heroes, and they're just like, oh, we'll go around. He hasn't done anything at this point to show that they can't just shoot him. They could have at least had them shoot him, and he does the Darth Vader hand thing, like in Empire, right?
Oh, that'd be cool.
But he just stands there, and then all these armed guys are just like, oh, I guess we'll go around. There's this one dude here.
But he's a Sith.
Yeah, but no one knows what the Sith fucking are except the Jedi. He's just a guy with tats. They're like, oh, we can't fight him with our, like, 20 guns.
Hey, you get tats to intimidate sometimes if you get them on your face.
But yeah, physically he's very good. Because, well, he's a martial artist first and foremost, I think. He's a stunt guy.
Oh, he's a stunt guy, yeah.
In fact, I believe the story I've heard is that he was hired to, like, create the lightsaber choreography. It wasn't originally supposed to be the actor, right? But he created such a complex system of fighting with a double-ended lightsaber that they were just like, fuck it, we can't go have you teach this to someone else, just do it.
It looks good. He was Toad in X-Men, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And he's done something else of actual note, I think.
He was Snake Eyes in the live-action G.I. Joe movies.
Oh God, is that what I was thinking of actual note?
I think he has done something else, but I can't remember what.
No, he's good. He just...
Yeah, but he's a kung fu guy, right? He's not an
right,
actor.
he is a below the line. Now he's above the line, right? But he came up as a below the line person, meaning they don't have like the creative control, right?
Right.
And he kind of stumbled above the line, I guess.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah.
Even if it took Phantom Menace to do that.
The voice of Darth Maul is Peter Serafinowicz,
Who is?
UK comedian. He's, not Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
He's the upstairs roommate.
Oh, okay. Does Darth Maul talk?
He has like 2 lines.
Okay. I don't remember him talking. I watched it 3 nights ago.
Something the Jedi. At last we will have our revenge.
Yeah. You know what? They should have just never had him talk.
Yeah,
that would
well,
have been
it feels like that's the case, right?
It does feel like this case. Just do it. So I'm obviously already pooping over this film. I don't know when we're supposed to talk about what we actually think, but we already are, and everyone thinks something of this film, probably. It does have. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the best lightsaber battle.
Okay, pause. I want to show you a YouTube video.
Okay, so we just saw the totally Phantom Menace, which I guess we're gonna link here.
Oh, definitely make sure I
if
include
you're
a link.
too
Yeah,
lazy
yeah.
to type that into YouTube. Your link for Darth cooking goes with this.
Oh, I guess, yeah, whatever. We haven't even watched it yet.
I just called it out. Your Darth cooking here. There's no Darth Vader, but well, there is a Darth Vader, isn't there?
Yeah.
So here's my response. The thing shows how they're basically choreographed and just not even trying to hit each other. I think a good fight scene is like Fred Astaire, right? It's dancing.
Right, but this is literally dancing. This isn't the dance of combat. This is like completely unnecessary flips and twirls and dancing.
It's fantastic dancing, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I really liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, I would have agreed with you. This is the best lightsaber fight. I would put Empire or Jedi's Luke and Vader fights above this. I might even put Rey and Kylo above this because they felt like fights. There were moments where they're just battering each other.
Here's the thing, though, if you
and
want...
it's kinetic and also, I don't give a fucking shit about any of these characters in this fight, right?
Yeah,
A good
totally.
fight, you care. You care who wins. This, I'm just like, oh, that's pretty.
Here I am half-heartedly defending the Phantom Menace, weirdly enough. So, if you want a real good, brutal fight, we'll talk about this one in a few months. They Live. 10 minutes of pummeling at the end, you know?
Right.
I mean, it's not... It's well choreographed, but it's violently choreographed. It's not like a pleasure to watch. I think we'll get back to it. Also, the thing that, like, the Fred Astaire moves are cool. Like, I think that's honestly my first thought's Fred Astaire watching this lightsaber battle. I like the weird, the pointless gates.
That actually scene is one of my favourites.
That's why
Just
I like
where
this battle
they've
so
got
much.
They've got like that pause and they have to stare each other down.
Yeah.
And the way they all react differently.
Yes.
Like Qui-Gon centers himself, kneels, meditates. Darth Maul's just there, like, getting aggressive. Obi-Wan's like hopping on the spot because he's raring to go.
That's why I like this one so much. Those weird pauses. I mean, the dancing's cool, but yes, it's definitely dancing. They put the waltz in that video, of course. That's fine, but this film hasn't really worked out so much drama up to this point.
Yeah.
So that
there is a reason why this could be argued the best lightsaber fight, and it's the music. It's the Duel of the Fates, right? It's nothing to do with what's on screen.
But I have to have a word about that, don't I? So
what does that rip off?
I play in the orchestra, and right now we are practicing Dvorak's New World Symphony. The third movement, bum-dum, bum-bum. Dun, 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 dun. There's no singing, but it's like, it's the same theme.
Yeah. Right, but it's still very good fight music, right?
Yeah, I don't get it on my cello, though. They could have put Dvorak in, it would have been fine, though.
Yeah.
The chorus is cool. The chorus is not in Dvorak. Yeah, that adds a little to it. That's nice.
Cha-cha!
Cha-cha! I do remember people...
Obi-Wan!
Is that what they're singing?
No, that's what I always used to think they were singing when I was a kid. Just the names.
Do you know what they are singing?
Gibberish, I believe.
Oh, okay. They gotta be singing something.
Yeah, but a lot of these films which have choirs these days, it is just gibberish. Which is why it was so funny in Deadpool 2.
Well, that would work.
No, but have you seen...
I haven't.
Do you care if I spoil a gag?
Go ahead.
At the end when they're... Let's give something else. They're fighting Juggernaut, and it's got like a choir like you get in films. But as you're watching, you realise they're singing like, "Holy shitballs, you can't stop him. He's the fucking Juggernaut." Shit like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what. That's one of the only last night Transformers last night. Yeah, that's like the only thing I liked about the movie when there's like the big Doom organ turns out like the
robot's
just
playing
play
it. And then like a couple of sentences later you hear choir and he's singing that as well.
Yeah. That was the only thing I liked about that movie.
I legitimately love that film.
Yeah, I know you do. It's fine. I do like the 4 Transformers leading up to that one.
Okay.
But
that's the one where it gets really insane. They have a spaceship that plugs into Stonehenge.
We'll do it sometime. But Doctor Who did it a few years earlier.
Yeah, but not as ridiculously.
True, but better.
Maybe.
Fuck, they left poor Rory like to be a centurion for 2,000 years.
See, that was the first. What's the writer called?
I'm sorry if I spoiled
Stephen
Doctor
Moffat.
Who.
That was the first Stephen, and that was when I was like, "Oh, this guy's good. He's only ever going to do good things." And then the rest happened.
But I will say, for the prequels, the one person who does rip off composers, if you know classical well enough, but John Williams does up his game in the prequels.
Yeah.
He's the only one upping his game in the... Lucas ain't. ILM ain't.
They kind of are.
They are in a way.
Invented the techniques which all films now use. They just didn't quite perfect them right
But
away.
we don't want them to use those techniques half of the time.
Yeah, well, the problem is they were putting forth the case, which most of Hollywood seems to have accepted, that you can just use CG and nothing else. And the films which look good now are the ones which have like turned away from that.
Like
and
newer Star Wars?
The newer Star Wars is.
They still have some CGI crimes, but yes, in general,
Yeah, but for the
good.
it's like, oh, use CGI when you absolutely can't use practical effects, but don't just use CGI.
Yeah, I think you mentioned you have the practical effect and just you augment it with CGI. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the best effects are when you can't tell how they did it.
Right.
It's like, is that a puppet? Is that a CGI? I don't know. So
You can't tell they did anything in here. It's all green screen.
I think,
It's all in
although
computer land.
this one is better than the next two for that.
Yes.
There are a few sets.
So
Like all the
Tatooine
Tatooine stuff
included.
feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sets.
It does get worse.
They're filming in like some genuine woods and stuff for Naboo and like just grease.
Yeah, and then but I know it's when they first meet Jar Jar and they're going into the water.
Yeah.
And they're like their entry into the water is clearly CGI. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
Is it?
Yeah, I made a note of that. Speaking of which, I didn't pull out my notes. I should probably do that.
Maybe I'm remembering when they come out of the water because I remember a shot of them just wading into some water and it looking okay.
No, it didn't. I was paying attention. It didn't look okay to me. Here's the passing of the notes.
Thanks.
Yeah, John Williams, bumpers seem all right. John Williams blasting logo. This must be Star Wars. Taxation and trade routes. Did you see the Simpsons episode where Homer takes the kids to see a new Star Wars?
No, but I can imagine it.
It's all like, yeah, it starts with like an even more ponderous version of the opening crawl, and then it's just all in the Senate chamber of like, like rebuts and motions, and
Yeah.
it was pretty funny.
Oh, so I hate Jar Jar. I do love Boss Nass.
Oh,
The leader.
he does
Brian
Futurama.
Blessed.
He does Futurama Nixon.
Oh, okay.
He does that stuff.
You's a thinking you's a better than the Naboos.
I like that.
Yeah. I love a good jowl shake.
He's still offensive.
Well, who's he offensive to? Fat people?
He's offensive to people. Just the fact that he exists is offensive, but he's still more likable than Jar Jar.
Yeah, he's great.
What other alien? Okay, we talked the frog, the Chinese frog aliens.
I always read it as Japanese, but I don't know why.
Oh, China's yeah, okay. I
guess because of the blockade sort of stuff they were doing felt a bit World War II and...
Anyway, whatever they're doing seems pretty offensive.
Yeah.
There's that one dude. One guy. I think he was supposed to be a character because they made a figure and
Oh, Captain Tanaka?
Yeah. Was he supposed to be a thing?
Yeah, he's throughout the trilogy. He's just kind of there.
Oh.
But he doesn't do anything.
So, okay.
He's just there so that Queen Amidala has a dude who's there.
That's her own age or older.
Yep. And then he's there in the second one as like you're meant to be like, oh, it's that guy, and then he has like some little conversation. Everyone's like, yeah, but no one cares about this guy. Why is he here?
Oh, Anakin's mom.
The worst actress ever.
No, she apparently.
No, it's Attack of the Clones where she's bad.
She's a very respected Scandinavian actress.
Oh.
But she has to act in English now.
That explains why all of her deliveries are so weird.
No, she's supposed to be. I wish I should have gotten her name. I didn't get. Sorry. She's supposed to actually be a very good actress, but like everyone in this movie, they just got fucked.
But yeah, her death scene in Attack of the Clones is infamously awful.
Yeah.
In this film, I guess she doesn't do anything bad. She's just also a boring role.
I think I might remember Attack of the Clones less than this one, to be honest.
Yeah. There's also like the weird like romance it kind of hints there's something going on with her and Qui-Gon, but then there isn't.
Yeah.
And then...
Maybe Qui-Gon just does that everywhere he goes.
Yeah, it's just the raw sexual energy of Liam Neeson, I guess. I suppose, like, the scenes where she's just, like, sadly letting go of Anakin and stuff are done pretty well. She's just let down by the fact that she has to, with a straight face, look at the camera and say she had a virgin birth.
And then respond to, whoopee, I'm gonna go play!
There's, like, 3 yippies in this film.
And all of them are just like, why don't they... I don't quite know why they don't work, but they absolutely don't work.
Because no one has ever actually said yippee out loud.
Okay, maybe that's why.
Because, like, George Lucas has never met a child.
Should it just be woo? What if he were woo? Would that be okay?
Yeah!
Well, you need a little older of an Anakin for that, which is what we should have had.
Well, yeah.
No, you need to see him from the beginning. You need from a child.
I'm not surprised we didn't get to see the conception. The opening, you know how it always, you have the opening music and then it scrolls down and it's a planet, right? Scrolls down and it's like an egg in the fallopian tube.
And on the soundtrack there's the chorus singing, Divine Inception, Divine.
And then just like, yeah, he just, whoop, the fetus just appears. And then the camera just pulls out of a vagina.
As young Jake. In the womb.
No, as Darth.
Holy crap, we could write like 87 better movies than this.
Okay, let's get into some of the other things which were just bad moves about the prequels, right? Why is the Empire only as old as Luke Skywalker?
It's a republic mutated and perverted.
Right, but they didn't need to... They could have made... The Empire in the original trilogy feels like it's been around for a long time,
At
right?
least 30 years.
But more... Like, it feels like... Because they treat it like it's just this unstoppable, incredible thing, right? But, like, the Jedi could have just been operating while the Empire had already taken over, and it's just getting rid of them. But he felt like he had to show us the start of the Empire as well.
Well, what we get to with the newer films is what if the Jedi were the fascist regime basically, and, the Empire never really oppresses anyone except for the holiday special.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess, like...
So the Empire was right?
The Senate was just... always pretty corrupt and bad.
Yeah, the Senate sucks here too. It's not like they're awesome.
Yeah, I guess not sure I was going with that one. But it just felt weird to me that Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith ends, the Empire has just been formed, and Luke's been born.
Yeah.
And like that's how old the Empire is? It just doesn't quite ring true for me.
I know I keep screaming about Asimov in our podcast, but Foundation has so much to do with Star Wars. So you have the Empire, which lasts for 10,000 years or more, and when it starts to fall apart and people don't even notice at first, right? That's when the heroes of the story or these protagonists go and start this foundation to continue knowledge, right? When the Empire actually starts to fall apart for realsies, there is a somewhat 5 year, I don't remember how long, but it's not that long, where the Mule comes into power, who has like psychic powers, right?
Right.
That's basically the Star Wars Empire, the Mule being your Palpatine.
Okay.
So they play it interestingly there, and if you've read those books, I guess that's probably kind of the plot of the Empire here. It's this horrible flash in the pan.
Right.
Oh, that might work better with the First Order, and the new movies come right down to it. But
Yeah. Well, I guess I would have felt satisfied if the Senate that we see here had already been called the Empire.
yeah,
And it's just that he takes too much power.
yeah, but they're going
Because I feel like the Galactic Empire as a villain should have been around for 10,000 generations. It's unstoppable. It's like it's 30 years old.
Yeah, they're trying to go Roman, right? Because you got the Roman Republic for three
Right,
centuries
but how
or
long?
so.
The Roman Empire lasted more than 30 years.
Right, no, the Roman Empire is the old one, right? The old Republic.
Right.
And then the Roman Empire kicks in. It lasts more than 30 years, of course, but
Yeah.
that was by force, and that's
Oh,
the
it's
Empire coming in.
Very
Republic
clear
Empire.
that he's basing it on Rome.
Right.
Especially when you get into the sequels, yeah.
Does that make Octavian Darth Vader?
I don't know.
Is Mark Antony? No, Mark Antony would be Darth Vader, and Octavian would be the Emperor.
Maybe?
Who's Cleopatra?
Jar Jar.
Okay. I think you can kiss your franchise goodbye.
Yeah, this was the original Too Big to Fail.
Did Disney bailed it out, I guess? I don't know.
Well, but he still got to make 2 and 3
Yeah.
as he wanted. No one told him no. Well, I think this film still made bank, right?
It made a ton of money.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the top grosser of Infinity when it came out. But here's the thing. This is technically, the prequels are still technically independent films. They're distributed by the large studios, but they are still Lucasfilm, which is an independent studio.
Right, because his obsession was control, right?
Yeah.
Creative control.
Because I think even with Avatar, that's still a lot of studio hands, right?
Yeah.
Whereas technically the studio, they just distribute it. That's all that Fox did.
But yeah, the story of George Lucas's career is he wants total control. He fights for it, and he finally gets it, and it ends up being his undoing.
Is that why he made THX1138? Did I get that right?
Well, that was early. No, because that was taken out of his hands and edited, and he hated it.
Oh, because that's a controlled society, at least.
Yeah. So then,
but he did go back and digitally ham-fist it.
I'm sure.
Which I believe is the version I've seen, to be honest with you.
But then, Star Wars, he made it into his contracts that, so by the time he made the sequels, he was funding them and he could do what he wanted.
Right.
But at that point, he was at least smart enough to get someone else to direct.
Yeah.
But somehow we forgot even that much by the prequels.
Why did you... What? I understand it didn't work, but I understand why he directed this. That made sense.
Yeah.
Why did he direct episodes 2 and 3?
Because I think at this point, no one was telling him it was bad.
So people just wouldn't show him
He
the
was
trade
so surrounded by
reviews.
yes men, right? At this point. Well, also, all of the Star Wars films got bad reviews on release.
Okay.
You see, there are pictures from the set of Phantom Menace where the crew wear T-shirts with bad reviews of A New Hope on the back. Because George's thing was oh, fuck the critics, they don't know, right? I know, and the fans love me.
You think you're making a bad movie, do you? No, this should work out okay.
So yeah, there was we were talking earlier about how there's too many Star Wars podcasts, but I listened to 2 this year, which were new. There was one of the making of Star Wars, which was very American and very overproduced. But what it did tell an interesting story. And yeah, George Lucas's whole thing was he demands creative control, and he got it, and he shouldn't have.
He should have demanded collaboration a bit more, because that worked in the past.
Yeah, he had a vision, but maybe by the time of the prequel trilogy, he'd lost that vision. I think.
I wonder when he claims he had the whole thing down from the beginning, which clearly he didn't.
No. Well, because of it.
I wonder when the story actually came. I mean, I imagine he did have strokes of this in the beginning, but maybe not even the whole Skywalker thing, because that probably didn't. I don't think that was there in the first movie, or they.
No,
they
I
wouldn't be
feel
making
like it was when he brought out the re-release of 4, which called it 4. Between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, he re-released it as Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
And that's where it came.
I think at that point he had pretty much the skeleton of the 6 in his head.
Right. I guess he'd sketched out the few past that, although.
Yeah, he apparently had treatments of 7, 8, 9, and as I understand it, he didn't even read them.
Yeah, they were tossed out the window with the rest of the expanded universe. Which,
yeah, good.
Yeah, it didn't bug me so much.
I'm interested to know what they were, but I'm glad they didn't treat them like holy artifacts or whatever.
Right. But, okay, well, the new one's working out fine, so whatever.
Yeah.
This one didn't work out so well.
No. But again, for a generation of kids, it was fine. It was fun.
Yeah.
So there's a reason it didn't flop. People did enjoy it. And even, not just kids, people who aren't super into these kind of films and who don't care that, they went along and they saw some action and they saw some effects which were good for their time and
no, I remember
left the theater.
I remember opening night just being there like, this doesn't seem too interesting. We're like 20 minutes in. What's happening? Where's Darth Vader? Because his helmet's in the shadow on the poster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really expect to see him, but still.
You get to hear him breathe at the end of the credits, so you got that.
Right. Yay! Oh, you like Darth Vader, do you? But, getting back to that little stand-up sketches, it's like, I want the things I like. I don't need to know where they came from.
Right. Well, again, and that's getting into what we talked about earlier, but the listener will be hearing next week. The Last Jedi understood that shit's not what's important. It's the character and what's in front of you at the time, right?
Exactly.
So,
and there's nothing much
if only
going on
Kylo Ren
together.
had been around to tell George, kill the past. It doesn't matter. The story starts with Anakin and Obi-Wan are best friends and they're fighting a war.
Yeah.
Give us 2 movies of that, right? And then we'd have cared by episode 3.
Yeah, let's also note that the Clone Wars is the only thing anyone wanted to see from the prequels.
Yeah.
Which episode 2 ends with it just starting, and episode 3 ends with it just ending.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to go to the show instead.
Right.
Where we get to see the Clone Wars.
We
Yay.
do get to see some in 3, and it looks insane. It's so good.
Well, it's just that opening battle. That's the end of the Clone Wars.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, the whole film is about the Clone Wars wrapping up.
Yeah, that's true. So it's
We
a
get
wrap-up.
a few battles, but yeah. We don't really get to see it in full
You
swing.
get to kill Jedi Order. That's cool.
But no, that's for video games and cartoons and...
Oh, that's what this movie did. There's so many good video games here. All the characters are NPCs.
Yeah.
Are any characters here not NPCs?
Just
Non-playable
Qui-Gon, I
characters,
guess.
if you're old like me and don't quite know what we're getting at.
Qui-Gon, his whole thing seems to be that he just does his own thing and breaks the rules.
That's an NPC still.
Is it?
Yeah, they do. That
Of
moves
course
the
they're-
story forward.
Well, these aren't real people. They are literally NPCs. Also, it's a film. You can't play as any of them.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know what you're getting at.
I guess you can be Anakin because they had that hip pod racing, that triple flipper arcade pod racing game.
Yes. Yeah, of course, F-Zero and Wipeout both do it better
They do.
on consoles, but when you're sat in the machine and you got the 2,
That was hip.
the tank, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's where it is. Because I remember loving that. And then what system was it on?
N64 and Dreamcast.
I play on
So you
Dreamcast.
probably take
then.
Dreamcast, right?
Yeah.
Although the N64, you could plug in 2 controllers,
Ah.
and then you had the 2 sticks, and you could kind of do the arcade driving.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But no, it's still not. That playing it in the arcade feels amazing.
Now I heard Samuel Jackson agreed to do this for a purple lightsaber.
Pretty much. Well, he wanted to be in Star Wars.
Right.
Well, most of these actors, right? They just agreed to be in these films, not even looking at a script. It was like, Star Wars. Of course, you want to be in Star Wars, right? But yeah, Samuel Jackson, like I think his one rider with my lightsaber has to be purple.
he doesn't get his
Doesn't even get a
in this
lightsaber
one.
in this
Yeah, I was
film.
about to say, he's just sitting
He
there.
plays like the most boring character ever in this film.
He doesn't do much of anything. He's just grumpy for a
The
few
only one you really
seconds.
get to see him do anything cool is 2, where he gets to fight a bit.
Yeah. And then he gets...
Episode 3, he gets defeated by a little
Bitch
old age
slap.
pensioner. Talking about good and bad lightsaber fights,
Well,
I think that one could be qualified the worst.
yeah, probably.
Because Qui-Gon goes in, not Qui-Gon, Mace Windu goes in with like 3 other Jedi, and they killed in like a second. They just stand there and let Palpatine chop them up.
Well, Nick Fury's his consolation prize, I guess.
I feel like Samuel Jackson must have already been like 40 or 50 when this came out. Because he's one of those guys who's like way older than you think.
Yeah. He's always... Yeah, because he didn't... I don't remember seeing him in any young stuff. Oh, another old dude, Morgan Freeman. You actually can find young clips of Morgan Freeman, like on the Electric Company or Sesame Street or something.
Oh,
That's
nice.
pretty trippy.
Yeah, he's someone I only picture pretty old.
You
Although he's persona non grata now, I think so.
Samuel Jackson, I think he had something... I think he was actually like in the Black Panthers or something.
Cool.
Yeah, that's him.
Nice.
I don't think Morgan Freeman was. He was making PBS educational shows, which I guess that's cool too, but
yeah,
very different tracks in life.
So going back to pod racing.
Yeah.
It produced a good video game, is also probably the one legitimately good scene of this film.
Why does it feel so much like the weird animal racing scene in Last Jedi?
I guess just because it's a big CGI race, right?
I guess that's it, yeah. But here's my note. I was
Maybe
like,
because they were watching it from very high up.
yeah, if this movie were a game, it'd be vaporware. It'd be that Duke Nukem game forever that took 15 years to show up and everyone hated it when it
It
finally
literally
did.
is, yeah.
Well, this took 15 years to show
Well,
up
but
and everyone hated
he was waiting till the technology was ready. He wasn't making it that whole time.
Should have waited longer.
Should have waited until the technology existed to write scripts.
Continuing with the sounds of nature, we have some real rain now.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we're
it's
going to
soothing you.
upload this one as lo-fi beats to study to or whatever.
To study the Phantom Menace too. Sorry, one more thought on the video games. Just watching them breaking into the castle. Like, man, I had a great time with Xbox, Legos, Star Wars breaking that castle. And this movie, not such a great time, but
Yeah, for me that was actually a GameCube and Wii game, but yeah, me and my brother played through all the Lego Star Wars together.
the Phantom Menace was a nice game, Lego style.
I think when they brought it out, it was the whole trilogy, right?
Yeah, they did the prequels first, and
Well,
they did,
yeah, because they did the prequels like to mock them.
is that why I liked it?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it doesn't treat those films as good.
No.
Like every cutscene is a joke, right? It's taking the piss.
I remember not enjoying the Lego original trilogy game so much as the prequel ones.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed both.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they're
there's something more fun because it could just take a tone of parody, right?
Yeah. But now I play my games on an iPad, and somehow Lego games don't work well without a controller.
Yeah, well, they're normally just you walk around and bash things, right? So,
Yeah, you gotta bash on your controller. I guess that's the thing. We talked about Anakin, Jake, and you said he's in another movie, and you haven't told me yet because you need to tell me now.
Okay, it's Jingle All the Way, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie. He's the son that he's trying to get the Turbo Man doll for.
Ah, righty. I thought you were gonna tell me like some horrible like porno made 10 years later.
Nope.
15. Let's give it 15 years. Okay.
No, because he's spent most of that time in like juvenile hall and mental institutes, I believe.
He has face tattoos now, right?
You could be right. Yeah, he
I-
didn't have a good life.
No.
Because he got
Because
bullied
his
a lot
movie.
for this, I would imagine.
Who got it worse, him or the Star Wars kid? The
Oh, this
lightsaber-
guy, right? You have to already be a bit of an internet nerd to even know the Star Wars kid.
Yeah, okay.
I bet he only got bullied by other dweebs.
Yeah. So this movie just commits a crime by screwing up a child's life.
Yep.
But how is he in Jingle All the Way?
Fine as I recall, but you know.
He's got
He's-
sets and other actors.
Yeah, and he's just playing a normal child doing normal child things.
So if
he's
he
not
goes-
like a superpowered messiah who's going to turn out to be a Dark Lord or anything.
With midichlorians.
Yeah.
Is now the time for midichlorians?
It's never the time for midichlorians.
Why?
Because, right.
I agree. I'm just asking why.
I like the Force as just a vague, mystical idea. And this is dweebs trying to sci-fi it.
That's why the Jedi are fascists.
Uh,
They probably made up midichlorians. Oh, that's because
Midichlorians is just like the Star Wars universe's version of like phrenology.
Yeah. Look at the size of his skull. He must be a sharp one.
But I don't know, I enjoyed that the Force is a mystery, it's just an idea, it's just the energy that binds living things. That's enough, it doesn't need to be anything else than that.
And that's for everybody. But
Yeah.
here it's only for those few with the midichlorians.
Yeah. It's well, yeah. You never get the impression that the Force is like everyone's religion in this trilogy. It is a Jedi thing. And like, Anakin doesn't know what a midichlorian is. None doesn't know what a midichlorian is. The Jedis keep all that shit to themselves.
Right.
It's just, if we could make you a superpowered freaking space cop, we will.
So I guess what I'm getting at here is how many Force adepts are we actually seeing in the proper episodic movies? I mean, Han Solo is using the Force most of the time. No one's that lucky.
Yeah, definitely. The Force is on his side.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily control it, but...
Right.
The argument could be made that for like most of the heroes of the films, right? Because
Yeah.
they all seem to have unreasonably good luck.
Right. Is that to me, that's the Force. I heard once, I think it was actually George Lucas saying it, that the Force is John Williams' music. That's the representation of the Force in the movies.
I kind of like that. That's cute.
Like that's why it's in, like I made a note in this, I think I made a note in last year, why is there music in every second of this movie?
Right.
But that's the Force. That's the character of the Force. And when you think about it that way, it's kind of groovy.
Yeah. But, every movie has a soundtrack, so...
But they don't play through the entire thing like Star Wars movies. I mean, there are...
yeah, it's to the point that it is notable that Last Jedi has a silent shot.
Yeah.
That's, they put signs up in the theaters advising people that wasn't a technical error.
Yeah,
Because,
really.
you never don't have music in Star Wars.
Right. I
If you
mean,
buy the soundtrack CDs, it's as long as the film.
right. I mean, with some stark space shots would be nice. You don't have to go full Kubrick, but I mean, hell, Kubrick knows how to use music with the space shots too.
Yeah.
But anyway, the arguing point would be that actually is the Force, and thus it is permeating the entire movie.
Yeah, I like that. Well, yeah, the Force is supposed to be permeating everything. It's the Force. But yeah, I don't know. The midichlorians don't actually take away the Force being that. Because it's explained the Force is still that. They're just... A person with a lot of midichlorians can hear the Force, can commune with it. But it just feels unnecessary.
I guess it's like getting your thetan level tested.
Yeah, and also, the fact that he can just, like, sit and test his blood to do that shit. I liked it more, and it's just like, I can feel the Force
No,
is strong
he
with
was
him.
vaccinating Anakin because he's on a dirty planet. That was just an excuse.
Vaccine him, and that's why he's the way he is later on, because he shouldn't get vaccinated.
No, sorry, I was trying to say it's because Tatooine's a dirty planet.
Also, you should vaccinate your children, people. Like,
Especially if they live on Tatooine.
yeah. I think I told you before that I've got a box of Tatooine sand. An ex-girlfriend of mine visited Tunisia.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, at least it's from Tunisia, right? Okay.
Yeah, and it's from the area in Tunisia called Tatooine, which is why the planet's called that.
Well, then it's sand from Tatooine.
So yeah,
Cool.
sand from Tatooine. She got me a little chest of
Okay,
sand.
it's legit then.
Yeah.
How big is it?
Oh, like a 6-pack of eggs.
Okay, that's a notable box of sand.
Yep.
Yeah. God
It's
save
like-
the queen. Burn, dun, dun. She ain't no human being. Dun, dun, dun. I don't remember any more lyrics. Sex Pistols.
Yeah, well, so one of my big problems with the prequel trilogy is no one in these films is just a normal guy on the street. It's royalty and the Senate and, like,
People with lots of
top-ranking Jedi.
midichlorians.
Yeah. Like, and so to the point that one of the main characters in this film is the queen of a planet. And we're supposed to treat her like the underdog and the hero.
Isn't Jar Jar just your man on the street? Your Gundam on the
Kinda,
street?
I guess. But he's Jar Jar fucking Binks. So, like, if he's your argument for that this film has good characters.
Wadu, Wazoo. What's his name
Yeah,
again?
but he's treated like a villain, right? Watto.
Watto,
He's
there
just
we
a
go.
businessman, but he's treated like a straight-up villain. I mean,
Right.
admittedly, he keeps slaves, so, fuck him. But Like, George Washington kept slaves, so...
Hell, he could have been a villain. I didn't know him. But yeah, we're looking at... This is how the elite live in the galactic universe.
Right, but this trilogy never does anything with that. Right? I mean, it's not until The Last Jedi that you get any commentary on the elite living like this is a problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, what do most people live like on Naboo? Maybe we're just seeing...
Oh, yeah, maybe most of Naboo is more like Tatooine. We've seen, the Queen's Palace in the capital, and that's, it, right?
Well, we see the Gungan
And we see
City.
the Gungan City, but that's different.
Yeah. It's wet.
Yeah. Well, they're using, animals to carry their force field generators and stuff, so they're hardly super high tech. And yet they have those force fields that no one else seems to have, so whatever.
Gundans are the everyman. The Gundans are who we should identify with in this film.
Yep. Everybody wants to be a Gungan.
Not those fascist Jedi or those elitist queens.
Don't even get me started on the Queen.
Do you think this queen has slaves?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. Is
I mean,
her doppelganger a slave?
She's shown having, a harem of servants, so, I'm assuming they don't get paid well or treated well.
Well, we don't know.
I'll tell you what, she does have slaves, and so does everyone in Star Wars. Because what we haven't even talked about yet in this whole Star Wars month is droids.
Yes.
Clearly sentient droids who are treated as slaves by
Are
everyone.
we sure they're sentient?
R2 is, right? 3PO is.
Are they?
He does so much stuff that no one told him to do for his own reasons.
He could be
emotionally
malfunctioning.
manipulates people. Well, we could be malfunctioning,
Yeah, but we're not droids.
aren't we? Just flesh droids.
We're all Cylons.
just machines.
I'm a Cylon, man. I'm no droid. So yeah, and we're sending the droid armies out now.
Yep.
And
Even they're shown occasionally to show fear and stuff when they're gonna die.
true, and they're gonna die really. That's the thing. They're so easy to beat because they have programmed emotions, right?
Right.
The droid army never does anything unexpected.
Yeah. Well, also I think the reason they have a droid army is because it would be a bit weird if these films were full of Jedi just slicing up dudes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very different trilogy though.
Not for children as much, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're gonna get to episode 2 or 3 anytime soon because we have so many other Star Wars to do.
Well,
first.
we're doing a whole Star Wars month. I don't want to do any more Star Wars for at least a year.
Yeah. But I guess so. It's what do we fight the droids with? Starting in episode 2, it's clones. Is that better? Is it worse? I don't know. It's clones and robots. Where's all the regular people?
Well, I mean, we're already getting to that future now, right? Where people in first world countries, they don't send actual soldiers.
Yeah.
They're both just analogous basically to drones, right?
Yeah.
And then by the original trilogy and the new trilogy, of course, it's a rebellion, so they don't have access to that kind of shit.
Yeah, you know what? It seemed absolutely ridiculous in '99 when I first saw this movie. But yeah, it does seem sort of not reasonable, horribly reasonable, I guess I should say.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the enemies here are the Trade Federation. They're very, very rich, right? So what would they have access to? A shitload of drones. It works. It makes sense.
Yeah, it didn't make sense 20 years ago. So okay, there's one very small way that the Phantom Menace may have aged well.
Yeah.
There's other ways it definitely. Well, it didn't. It wasn't born right. It wasn't that boy ain't right.
I would still argue I think it has aged better than the Attack of the Clones. Simply because most of this film is just a romp, right? They're just bouncing from planet to planet. They're doing stupid action stuff.
It just didn't have enough plot to be a romp, though. It's just stuff is happening, but none of it matters.
Right, but most of the stuff that's happening looks pretty and is enjoyable. Whereas Attack of the Clones has a big chunk in the middle. Just a very slow,
It has a
poorly
love
written,
story.
poorly acted love story, right? I'm a big fan of a love story, but there's zero chemistry. It's creepy as fuck. And
I don't like sand.
It's coarse and rough.
Yeah.
Not like here. Everything's smooth. Slowly strokes her back.
Well, he's the younger man. He's gotta be. She's a cougar.
Yeah. Well, that film would have been better if she'd been chasing him. Because the whole thing is but Anakin, your vows. But why does she care?
She can get any nookie on Naboo.
Yep.
Oh, my last thought just went out of my mind.
Well, I'm just gonna say, you shouldn't. Well, she's a queen here, but she's voted in.
Yeah.
They talk about that in Attack of the Clones. She's like, oh, it wasn't the youngest queen ever elected.
Oh, queens are elected.
On Naboo, yeah.
Not like on our world.
Not in fucking England. Oh, you should know they're your betters. You're just naturally born worse than them. You should worship them and obey them. Fuck off. As we're recording this today, the current rumour on UK Twitter is that the Queen is dead. This happens at least once a year. But
it brings a ray of hope every time.
I don't want to say that right now, but yeah, like, the thing is, the guy who's going to replace her, Prince Charles, he's not going to end the monarchy.
No, of course not.
But, like, the hope is that eventually she'll die, someone young will take over and just be like, yeah, we should probably get rid of this now.
This is getting kind of stupid.
But, like, hopefully eventually the people will just do it themselves.
Who else in England would be able to speak directly to Pindar, the lizard living at the center of the earth?
Well,
the albino 8-foot lizard.
The entire Conservative Party are lizard people.
Right.
David Cameron has got at least 3 skins.
Yeah, but how many is Pindar willing to speak to? He'll speak to the Queen.
Right, but her power is derived from, like... She doesn't have any actual power, so I'm sure that Pindar would much rather speak to David Cameron, to be honest.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't think she's got anything Pindar wants to hear. He humours her, for old time's sake, but he don't give a shit.
Sorry, I know we're talking Phantom Menace, but just a little more clone talk. Here's, I told you I saw the Phantom Menace opening night. I might have watched it once on DVD. It took a real long time for this one to hit DVD, by the way. Like 2 years.
Yeah, it came out on tape pretty quick, but DVD was like a new thing.
Yeah, because they had to DVD had been around for a few years, but no, we got to get it just right. So It took a little while. So by the time, I think I saw this, and then very quickly after saw Attack of the Clones, and I enjoyed it in the theater, and I've never seen it since. I remember a few months after Attack of the Clones, I was working in Maine with some people. It was like environmental education. I was working with the hippies, man, and they started playing it on the TV there. I think it might have been like my DVD, which I never watched, and I ended up just taking a walk on the beach.
Is this Attack of the Clones?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember liking it in the theatre, and then I think that was the first DVD my family had. We bought our DVD player with Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
But like, my family watched Star Wars a lot, and I had like younger brother and sisters, so they liked the prequels. So I saw it enough.
Okay. I've literally seen Attack of the Clones. Like, that one I definitely have only seen once. This one, maybe it was 2 or 3 times. The second time, I think I probably just kept going and, like, the computer was, like, in the other room, and I'd go over and, like, do stuff and come back, see a little more Phantom Menace. But,
right.
Yeah, these movies just never quite held my attention, I guess. As most people that are over...
Well, I mean, obviously
30.
part of it for me is just the nostalgia because I watched them when I was 8.
See, I get the nostalgia with the original trilogy.
I mean, I get even much more nostalgia with those films. But, you know, 8, like I said, it was the big event film of my childhood, and I saw it in theatres and loved it.
See, my analogous one would be Batman, the Tim Burton Batman.
Right.
Which I think I won out on that little bargain.
Well, the other one for me is was Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
We did that already.
By Spider-Man, I'd already had and Lord of the Rings too.
I have the extended editions on Blu-ray, but I still haven't watched them all, and I still don't think I like them.
Oh, I love Lord of the Rings.
But I at least I keep trying to get into them. I keep trying.
But they also got their own terrible prequel trilogy, so...
Yeah. Better in this one.
There is a very good 90-minute film in those 3 abominations.
I took a look at the 90-minute edit of the 3 prequels, and it's still not that good.
Oh, I mean The Hobbit.
No, I know what you mean. And someone also did it for this.
Okay.
And it's still not that good.
No. Well, yeah, because just the acting and stuff is not good in this. The Hobbit's not bad because it has bad acting and stuff. It's just bloated.
That's the only Tolkien book I've actually read.
Same.
Yeah, I tried to read Fellowship and I got bored. I tried to watch the movie.
I feel like I had Lord of the Rings as one big book. But I feel like I probably did make my way all the way through Fellowship. But they are just boring to read.
Yeah.
No, he's so stoned when he's writing them. The Hobbit's just a kid's book. I can read that in one sitting.
No, I went to my dad and I went to see Fellowship on opening night because I thought I hate Harry Potter and love that, and it turned out the opposite way. Huh. But by the end of the movie, like we were pissing off the theater because we were turning into a show. It's just dudes looking at each other, and people are like, "Shut up! It's just dudes looking at each other." It's now 2019. Is this holding up as a episodic Star Wars film? Canon, a gospel of the Bible, so to speak.
What's a more interesting question? How well is Star Wars holding up? Because, like, if you think, well, before Force Awakens came out, it was like 50-50 on good and poor films. I mean, okay, Revenge of the Sith is better, but it's still not, like, great, is it?
No.
So, this was a franchise which had only been half good. But somehow the quality and the amount of love that people have for the original trilogy meant that Star Wars weathered this storm.
Yes.
And still to this day, I'm very excited for Rise of Skywalker. I have some reservations. I'm worried about some things that Abrams may or may not do. But
what helps that we got
sitting in a cinema and seeing the Star Wars logo. Okay, but for Force Awakens, I was excited.
Yeah.
I felt good. Sat in the chair and the title came up, Star Wars and the music, and there was an opening crawl, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. And then luckily it ended up being a good film. But the power of Star Wars is very strong. And even though there was a long period where everything that was coming out was shite.
Well, we're looking at a time now where we've had a few good episodic films. The Star Wars stories are at least watchable, if not.
Yeah.
Rogue One's pretty good. It's dark.
The problem
feel
with
weird
Rogue
about
One is I don't remember anyone from it.
I remember the lead girl, I think.
Yeah, Jyn Erso, I guess. But it just felt like... It felt like a real bad case of just some stuff happening.
That's pretty much where Solo is, but a lot of movies are just some stuff happening, and we don't put them in our
I
cultural
haven't seen
zeitgeist.
Solo yet, but like Solo and Lando at least come across as characters, right?
Yeah. There's that blind dude with the Force.
Oh yeah. Oh, and there's his pal with the big gun, who was like one of my students' favorite Star Wars character, apparently.
And the Palestinian dude.
Yeah.
They had some kids. They were
Well, yeah,
super
again,
memorable.
we don't remember any of their names, right? So
Okay, the point is we don't remember any of their names. Okay.
But maybe that's just because we've both grown out of the age where we buy all the Star Wars action figures
Yeah.
and the Usborne books that tell you all the characters' names. and
Exactly.
shit.
So.
What
the
does
thing-
what does TIE Fighter stand for?
TIE?
Yeah.
Total Indoctrination Endor.
Okay, no. I was hoping you'd know because that's just the one that I've been asked a couple times in my life, and then like, that's how you prove to some little kid that you actually do like Star Wars. You're not just humouring him.
I just gave you an answer. Total Indoctrination Endor.
Twin ion engine. It's actually just because they look like bow ties, but they
Yeah.
acronymed it.
Yeah. So we have some good Star Wars in the more modern years. This movie still blows.
Yeah, it blows. But like, it blew really hard, and so did the next couple. But not enough to ruin how much people still fucking love Star Wars.
Yeah, just because there's some good stuff in there. So, let's talk about this. I don't think either of us know that much of the extended universe, but did that have a hand in saving Star Wars? Because you still got good novels. There's some good comic books.
We've talked about like the Clone Wars animations were both good.
That was good. That was after all the prequels, though.
No, but the cartoon one wasn't. It was between 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
That was legit good.
Yeah.
Good video games are coming out.
Yeah, the ones now suck
Pod
more,
Racer.
don't they?
No, there's been like a weird thing because EA got the license and
Okay.
just been putting out like okay games, but with all like microtransactions and gubbins. They just put out one which I think is pretty good.
I feel like the aughts had the good Star Wars games.
Yeah, like the original couple of Battlefields,
Yeah.
the Rogue Squadron on the GameCube.
I remember playing TIE Fighter. That's late 90s. But
Yeah,
TIE Fighter
some of my
something.
earliest
I
like
love
gaming
TIE
memories.
Fighter. Man, I gotta find an emulator for that. or
My
something.
uncle had all like the TIE Fighter and X-Wing with Sci-Fi. And they were good. Yeah.
So there was.
Oh, and
plenty
there's
of-
some good arcade machines here in Japan. There's one where it's like you sit in a big pod, so it's like
Oh yeah,
your
I think
entire
I've been
view
there
is
before.
taken up with like the
Yeah,
cockpit
I've
view,
been
right?
there before. That's great. Yeah.
They got one of those at round one. It's good.
So there was a lot of stuff around these movies that
Video
was quite
games,
nice.
comic books, novels.
You know, the movies themselves were just, I guess, the engine, right?
Yeah. Well, and toys. Having toys of all these spaceships and lightsabers and playing with them with your pals doesn't matter how good the film was. Like,
Yeah.
it's having
I mean,
fun.
I was already 20 years old when this came out.
I
right?
bet you still had lightsaber fights with your pals.
No, we were just depressed coming out, and then we listened to psychedelic music.
Okay.
But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap.
Yeah, you were saying about how the franchise was more than just the films.
Yeah, and that took it through this period.
But to
where,
like, how much of that did normies experience?
well, normies weren't. Star Wars, I think, had a little dip in pop culture quality. Now with the new movies, it's bumped way back up, but I think I think that did take some attrition.
Yeah.
I think in the pop culture...
Although, again, like we talked about earlier, a lot of people who aren't big into their sci-fi and stuff just thought these films were serviceable.
Yeah.
They watched them, they enjoyed the effects and the spectacle, and they moved on with
And
their
forgot
lives.
about the next week. They didn't think about it for the next 20 years as we've been.
Right, but like it wasn't bad enough that they were like, well, I'm not going to watch the next one. It's like, oh, that's fun.
And then people like us are going to watch it anyway, so...
Yeah.
I mean, if the last two episodes of 7 and 8 had been shit, we'd still be going to see 9.
That is true, that's very true.
Man, that is some major mojo. That's a spell. They're casting a spell on all of us.
Fucking capitalism, man.
Yeah.
Brands.
Take down the Trade Federation. Burn down the Jedi Temple.
Let's just pirate the Rise of Skywalker. Fuck Disney.
We're not going to the
Everyone
fucking
pirate
theater.
it. Boycott it.
But, like...
That worked out so well when they told everyone to boycott The Last Jedi.
No, I don't know what you're seeing from the UK, but in America, it seems like everyone's like, did you get Disney Plus yet? I can't wait. I got Disney Plus. Disney Plus. You and I don't give a
Oh,
fuck
I don't
about
think it's
Disney
out in
Plus.
UK yet.
Okay, that's why. In America,
UK
everyone's
or
like
Japan.
bending over backwards to get Disney
Twitter
Plus.
is full of the fucking Mandalorian and
Yeah.
that Baby Yoda.
I haven't gotten to The Mandalorian yet.
I don't care that much.
Okay, bingo, I don't care. Why don't I care about The Mandalorian? I didn't care about Rebels that much either, I guess.
Right, because
If it was Trek, I'd go for it.
we had satisfying Rebels content in the films.
Yes.
Boba Fett, we saw some cool well, not
More
really.
Django,
but-
really.
Yeah, but the reason you really want to see Clone Wars is because you didn't get that from the films.
Ah,
Delivering
yeah.
something you didn't have.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Mandalorian is like, I just don't care that much about Boba
I'm
Fett and
probably
stuff.
going to see it. I'm just not going to run out for
Yeah.
it.
But
we're going to run out for episode 9.
Yeah, because it's new.
So is The Mandalorian.
Yeah, but it's set in the middle and it's a side story and we don't care about it. Like I said, I haven't seen Solo yet. Because I don't feel like I need to see the origin of Han Solo.
No, you don't.
Like that
It's
one,
not a bad movie, but
the
you don't.
scene in the cantina told me everything I needed to know about him for A New Hope.
Yes. You show, you don't tell.
Yeah. And then
These
you
mo-
edit it so that you don't show quite the same thing because your balls fell off in the intervening 20 years.
That was probably an accident to start out with, I'm sure.
No, it's just that's a cool character thing.
It's a cool character thing. I just think they didn't notice when they were, like, editing.
Maybe. But no, but in both cases, he was going to die if he didn't shoot Greedo, right?
Right.
So it's just he was smart enough to know to do that. But then Greedo's like some fucking idiot who shoots a wall when he's 2 feet away from a guy. Maybe Han was in no danger. Maybe actually, right, here's a thing. In the edited version, Han had even less reason to kill Greedo because Greedo clearly can't shoot for shit.
So he's more hardcore in the edited version.
Yeah. He's like, well, you're no danger to me, but I'm going to shoot you anyway. Fuck you.
But you were happy to see the original version a few nights ago, or weeks or
Yes,
whatever.
definitely.
Yeah, of course. We do like Han shooting first.
I'm trying to think if there were what edits were actually good in the
I like seeing...
Cloud City looks a bit better.
Exactly. Not Cloud City itself, but seeing out the windows of Cloud
That's
City.
what I meant,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
a gray panel in the original cuts.
Empire is the only one where they work because they're all small changes.
Yeah. I'll never forgive Return of the Jedi for
The
getting rid of
musical
the...
number and the big
nub
Sarlacc
nub.
beak.
Nub nub!
Oh yeah, and the new song, yeah.
Nub nub! No, the old song that goes.
Yeah, no, but I mean the new one has.
The new one blows, yes.
Yeah.
That blows so hard I forgot about it.
Have you s-
That's prequel shit.
Have you seen the DVD one?
Yes.
Because you also get some Naboo and you hear Jar Jar.
Yes, you do. Okay, so that was the Phantom Menace. Star Wars month. We've given you the holiday special. We've given you the Phantom Menace. You must love Star Wars now.
Oh, I feel like we've already spoiled what next one is a couple times.
Yeah.
Because we were going to end with the... Oh, well, fuck it.
We have to give you a good one, so it is The Last Jedi. I'll scream that over the ending music
Yeah.
as well.
The one good Star Wars film.
Yeah. You know, something we didn't do in that Last Jedi we recorded earlier was tell them where to get hold of us. I guess we should wrap that shit.
Oh, yeah, I guess. You can find the podcast on Twitter at MLSFS11. We're also on Facebook. Search for Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. I don't think that actually matters, but people always say it on podcasts, so it makes me feel legit when I say it.
I'd like to see a review.
It would be nice to see one, yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at Buskalily. I also do a Pokemon podcast. And you can find Matt and his music by visiting rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com.
Okay, well, at the end, I always say I'm Matt.
I'm Luke.
And Misa gonna tell you
To get the fuck out of our sci-fi sanctuary. What was that, like Brooklyn? Hey, Misa judge your pigs. What you gonna do about it? Misa walking here.
you get the fuck out of Misa Sanctuary.
Next week, Star Wars, Episode 8, The Last Jedi.